Okay, welcome to Feel the Force. Welcome back. Forgive the distracting background. I know if you have a book fetish, you might want to look at what books I have, but don't mind those. There is no background. This is an illusion. It's just a simulation. So in today's video, I wish to talk about the transition we're experiencing, not a sexual transition. Anyway, from the age of Pisces, which was the old age of darkness, of war, of conditional living, and codependency. Now, I rewatched John McIntosh's video. He points out that this age of Pisces, we have just exited. That includes the age of religious institutions and codependency in religion as well. When we exited that age, we are entering now the age of Aquarius, which is upon us now, which is in effect the age of peace and light. So it's quite a schizophrenic jump or juxtaposition. We had Pisces before, which was the polar opposite, and then right after it's Aquarius with no bridge whatsoever. And that transition alone is going to cause a lot of cognitive dissonance in many people. And as Tim Wilde said in the Atlantis interview, so much light is suddenly flooding into the planet to the point where, the ego can't run or hide anymore whatsoever. And it's going to be scary for a lot of people. People won't know what's happening. Basically, the fifth dimension is already here. The new Earth is already here. And it's about people on an individual basis aligning with these energies, because these energies are taking no prisoners now. As Tim said, it's not like, oh, he's a chosen one, so let's cast light on him. It's like, oh, he's ignorant, he's still asleep, so let's not wake him up. No, this is a mass awakening. It's a collective quantum leap, and by hook or by crook, the universe is pushing the collective into this, what could be for many a very rude awakening, but also for others a very beautiful, like sudden, blissful orgasm out of the blue, But I just wanted to talk about the cognitive dissonance and how in Vera's interview about the New Earth, how the mind needs to be treated like a little child, and you need to tell the mind what is happening. It needs a reference point, otherwise it's going to go insane. So essentially, in the age of Pisces, which is basically more or less the last 2,000 years, we have seen the dark patriarchal masculine, which is the darkest, ugliest aspect of the masculine, and all its manifestations, war, rape, imbalanced government. And the culmination of that is now in the current unfolding of events in the third dimension, which is the whole attempted dystopian, totalitarian, technocratic takeover of the Earth. So that is the culmination of the dark masculine, or the patriarchal aspect, which we've seen in the age of Pisces. And now it's coming up to the surface, and the bubble's going to burst one way or another. I'm supremely confident that they are not going to win. I know they're not going to win. So just, if you're still worried, know that I'm not worried. So everything's going to be fine. Just don't worry, because we will see the eye of Sauron crumbling, this year, really. And it's only a matter of time, really. And as John said, it's again going to happen by hook or by crook. It's inevitable. Sounds a bit like Agent Smith. It is inevitable, but in a good way. In a good way, it is. It's inevitable. So we had this sudden shift from conditional codependent living, and by this I mean conditional, like, for instance, I will help you if you pay me, or I will love you if you treat me this way, or da 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 da. And of course, back in the age of Pisces, boundaries were necessary. But since we realized that we are not by nature codependent, but rather interdependent as one superorganism, as one entity, really, in many forms, then there's really no need whatsoever to be conditional. So we were in our ignorant phase back in Pisces. We were codepending on gurus, on religion, on governments, and sort of outsourcing our sovereignty to these external figures or institutions, and living in this system which is completely conditional. So we were codepending on systems and people who were by design conditional, and hence we've been conditioned. So this sudden transition will reveal itself in a very clear light. Our true nature is unconditional and interdependent. So we're going from conditionality to unconditional living, unconditional sharing, or what have you. And from codependency to interdependency, healthy interdependency. So it becomes like a beautiful symbiosis, of beautiful flowing symbiosis, as opposed to this dysfunctional, disjointed, kind of like looking at each other funny and being like, well, can I trust this person? What skills does he have? It's like, oh, I need help with this thing, but I'm going to have to pay him a lot of money to do this. And instantly there's separation, which is hell on earth. So we're here to create heaven on earth, right? So this is what's happening with this transition. So beginning with the mental awareness that we are now already, the planet is like, hey, we're in 5D now, but you humans are still traumatized. We're still carrying trauma from the age of Pisces into the age of Aquarius, and still like unsure what the fuck's happening, So we're still carrying programs from the age of Pisces, which is like a lot of conditional stuff, a lot of codependent stuff, and that includes not loving ourselves, not forgiving ourselves for whatever we've done, so-called. Karma is an illusion anyway. And not forgiving other people, because we were just living under the influence of the script of the age of Pisces. and the dark patriarchal masculine. What John further pointed out in the Mass Awakening video was that the energies are now going to be more balanced between masculine and feminine. So back in the age of Pisces, we've had the dark masculine, and the opposing force was a very ugly side of the feminine, which is feminism. And, you know, feminism does not solve any problems. It's not part of the solution, basically. It's well-meaning, but it is not part of the solution. It just creates more strife. And it's just a perfect mirror of the dark masculine, of the dark patriarchal masculine. So yeah, with that toxic masculinity that its opposing force, toxic feminism, has risen up against, we have seen, we have witnessed all of the dark side of masculine and feminine polarity. But now we're having a sort of involution into the self, and now the masculine and feminine energies are becoming balanced primarily from within. So we have this perfect, what is it called? Hieros gamos, whatever that fancy Greek word for the marriage, the chemical marriage, or whatever it's called, of the two polarities within the self, you know. And so you have that balance and that return to self-sovereignty, really, and not needing to codepend on external, you know, partners. But you know, if you do have a partner, it becomes more symbiotic and interdependent rather than codependent and conditional and whatnot. So we see that happening now. So this resetting and rebalancing is occurring right now, which is yeah, it's a process. It's a process. So we just need to be very gentle with ourselves and realize that we are carrying a lot of residual trauma from the old codependent and conditional lifestyle. But we now have to focus on aligning with the age of Aquarius, which is the age of peace and of light. And where there is peace and light, the ego doesn't have much to do at all. It's like, oh, so what do I do? So that's when it freaks out. And it's like, oh, no, I need to do something. You know, I need to create more separation, you know. But no, that's not the case. You can tell the ego to just like chill out, because it's the age of peace and light in the fifth dimension. So invite it to join the party, really, and just relax, really. So that's pretty much it. If you had any questions, just type it in the comments. And age of Aquarius. Yeah, things are becoming less linear as well. So everything is becoming this more flowing eternal now, as opposed to this linear structure from the past. That's what I'm noticing in terms of time, which is also an illusion. Yes. Where is anything else? No, I think that's pretty much that's pretty much it. So yeah, it's a transition. It's baby steps, basically. So so in this sense, we're all in this together, and just remind yourself of interdependence and unconditional living. So until eventually that becomes a deeper yeah, feeling, knowing, and doing as well. So it is inevitable. So just enjoy the process, really. All right. Well, take care, and as ever, be free, have fun, and may the force be with you. Thank you.